Welcome everyone, this is Evelyn and I have my 7-deck read on the table for the Twin Flames today. I haven't done that for you guys in a long time. So this is my 7-deck read. I also have 2 of my messages of the day, but I was just meditating to get a message for you guys from my inner child. And it was very interesting, so I'm going to tell you about that first, and then we'll get into the other reads. So when I went into my meditation, first I saw my inner child with her left hand. She swings something down, like really forcefully, you know, but she's just a little girl, like she's like 3 years old. She forcefully, with her left hand, swings across her body down to the right 3 times at least, and then flings something up into the air with glee, like she's really excited about this. And unsure what it was, perhaps it was a black bird, I wasn't sure at the time. And then as it started coming around, I realized it was a black boomerang. But as it circled back around towards her, and she's getting more and more excited to see it spiral downwards instead and going way below where she was. So I was getting that energy of it as I'm losing my voice. I was getting that energy of it going into the earth. But I didn't see where it went, and I waited. But she was so excited about it, I knew it was something good. And I realized her action was coming out the other side without having to tunnel through. So that message has come up a few times about, you know, the feminine energy going around the mountain, and then the masculine at the last minute kind of tunneling through the mountain to get there more quickly. But the message here was like Newton's cradle, you know, where you pull the ball back and it hits the middle balls and only reacts on the other side. The vibration goes through the static balls in the middle, and reaction is only reflected by the equal and opposite on the other side. So meanwhile, while this scene is playing out, all of a sudden Ismael Perez shows up in a faded kind of way, just kind of off to the side, speaking to an audience, as I tried to understand why he was being shown to me. And then a kitten walked up and put their paw on his leg, but it was kind of separate from him. And then the kitten grew into a bigger cat as I'm seeing him from the top. So I see his body growing bigger from the top. And then he morphs into a bear, which I thought he was going to take action as a bear, but he didn't. The bear then becomes Pooh Bear, rolling off of his lap like sledding down a hill. And I'm saying, well, what is that supposed to mean? And then I noticed Matthias Di Stefano approach from the other side. And then I see them sitting back to back, as I was then specifically told, David and Goliath, referencing the armor of God versus the strength of man. So I wanted to pull a card now referencing that information to see what comes up for us, because it was very significant. And yeah, there's a lot of controversy there, because what Ishmael talks about is basically the opposite of what Elena Denon talks about. And I've also noticed in watching I don't watch him on a regular basis. I have listened to him before to understand what he was about, and I wasn't necessarily getting the negative energy off of him, but I have noticed him speaking with other people, and I do get a lot of negative energy off of the people around him, which was really weird. But like I said, I have nothing against him personally, and you need to make your own decisions about that. I'm just telling you what I felt as it's getting kind of heavy there. I can't say I have felt any negativity around Elena or Matthias. So let's see what the cards say here as half the deck falls down. 1 second. All right. I'm using my Fortune's Oracle deck. Let's see what comes up. So is there more of a message here to explain what we need to know regarding this David and Goliath energy here? So here's that plane, and again, so this is that giving me the energy of that boomerang spiraling up. But this is that card of leveling up a little bit at a time, right? The plane doesn't go straight up like a rocket. It goes up a little bit at a time, gradually. And this message was coming up this past week about the higher energies, our guides, kind of hovering over, and each time we reach higher and higher, the plane moves up so that we keep moving higher and higher, like, you know, never nearing the end, because we always keep reaching up. And this is very much that energy of kind of like taking off towards Fantasy Island, and it's the 26th, so 2026 has been coming up significantly here as well. But also the 2-6 is literally reflecting itself. So when you write the 2 with the circle, it reflects the 6 on this side. And I've been getting that a lot lately because I haven't been getting the exact message of what that symbol is supposed to mean. But it did come up in my one picture that you see on the top of my YouTube website, of my face with the technical drawings on either side. You'll see that 2 and that 6 reflecting each other in the curls. So we have this energy. It says journeys indicated, either physically or metaphorically, that your life will become more full. And it's coming up with the lion's roar. And actually, I looked up their birthdays, and I didn't find Ishmael's birthday, but Matthias' birthday is August 4th, which makes him a Leo. So, and there's that 16 of the Tower, harnessing the loyal and protective aura of the lion, and charge ahead magnificently. And again, there's that Lyran energy as well. So they're referencing this Lyran energy to Matthias. And then this third card that comes up as beware of the shape-shifting energies, the 3 of the bird, which is referencing that plane. And again, it's coming up as in the order they came up was first came up Ismael and then Matthias. So, you know, take it for what it's worth. Feel into it. Let me know in the comments what you're feeling about that energy. And again, we don't need to stand in judgment of anyone. You know, everyone may have a different feeling about this, and it's all okay. You need to just be truthful to yourself and follow your own guidance here. But again, here's that energy of Mother Nature, right? That Mother Nature shape shifts all the time. And there's that camouflage, right? And nature naturally camouflages to protect its own. And there's another message, okay? And then we have the lovers coming up next, which was the day today, the 6 of the 18, the romantic lovers, that there are 2 paths ahead. So make sure to be true to yourself. And again, bringing up that 2 paths of one versus the other. The underlying energy is the fire and the 10, which is the Wheel of Fortune and destiny. And fire comes up in one of my Instagram messages today too. So check them out. That today's messages were really good. Let go of emotional upheaval, anything that's negative, and embrace the renewal of the present, right? Allow that to just burn through you and let it go. Okay, so these are the 4 cards that came up. Leveling up to the call of the Lyran, the Page of Wands here, and the Tower here. The Lion's Heart. And again, the David and Goliath is all about you don't need muscle power to have the life that you want, right? It has to do with faith in your own connection with source energy, right? And that Mother Nature naturally does that kind of thing to make sure you stay true to yourself, so you learn how to discern. And again, there may be a romantic choice up ahead. Oh, okay, and then burn through this fire energy. And fire came up in the Instagram message as the PPHIRE as fire. And again, using the energy of the as opposed to the of the tiger's growl, the anger that comes up, because anger's definitely been a message this week about allowing it to come up and burn out through you. Allow it to pass through, to release it here. Don't deny the anger. Allow it to just pass through and accept it, right? Because everyone has that. A lot of people push down the anger because, especially women, it's not a ladylike thing to do, right? That's what we're taught. But when you have hurt feelings and you repress that anger feeling and you just cry a lot, you're not releasing that anger side of it. And perhaps some of us need to do that, like howling at the moon and that kind of thing. And of course, don't take it out on anyone, but allow yourself that release, whether you do sports to release that kind of frustration, or, you know, if you need to punch a pillow or go to a boxing class. Those are all things that you can do to allow whatever frustration or fire that's coming up in you that you don't know how to deal with, to release that energy, so at least you become conscious of it and then can let it go. All right, so that's that. So this first message here, as you see, I was saging here today. So take a few deep breaths as I'm going forward with these messages here. We're going to roll the die as well. I'll get them. So this is the 7-deck read. This is the main cards from the SIRIAN Starseed deck, and then Sirius is coming up, of course, with my SIRIAN Starseed deck. And this energy of the SIRIAN energy is much more like serious, intellectual type energy for me. And the Lyran, it tends to be more light, as well as the Pleiadian energy is more light, and the Arcturian tends to be more serious as well. So the difference between those energies, I guess you're being called here to feel into the different energies and see what your perspective is on that. So that is the underlying read on the table, and then here is the full read on the table with all my clarifiers, the 7-deck read. And here we go. So let me just pull out the die first too, so I can see what comes up with the dice first. Take a deep breath. All right, so here we have Gemini coming up here. Also can represent the number 2, and all about communications there. We have the 3, which also could be communications. Right? We have Aries, Taurus, and then Gemini, so the 3rd house could come up there. But also there's that energy of the bird flying horizontally. The 3 is also the Empress and abundance and Mother Nature, but also Taurus energy there, which is fixed. And Gemini is mutable. And then here we have Neptune, which is Pisces energy, and very dreamy. And Pisces is also mutable. So we have the 2 mutables on either side. And I'm getting the menorah from that. I don't normally get that. And this could be twin energy too, with the 2 with the Gemini, of course, the twins. And then the 3 of Mother Nature here in the middle. And you can't fool Mother Nature, I'm getting. And again, that energy of camouflage is coming up. And again, here is like these 2 mutable energies, which are usually the messengers, you know, like kind of escorting Mother Nature as we go through here. And that escorting energy has been coming up with different energies, more masculine energies in the middle, and the father, and here's the mother coming up in the middle. So let's see where this goes. So today is the 6th, and we're starting back on the 1st, as we had just gone through that full moon on the 30th to the 31st. So the deck was cut at 11:22. It was a very interesting read because I cut the SIRIAN Starseed deck at 11:22, and then at 11:33, Alice was significant in the message and the way the cards were coming up. And then 11:44, I looked at the clock when I was doing the numerology cards back here, which I'll give you the decks because I haven't done this in a while, so I'll let you know. But that was at 11:44, and then I finished clarifying at 11:55. So we literally had 11:22, 33, 44, and 55 come up as this read. Very significant with the power numbers there. So 11 is that visionary energy of justice, truth, and balance, alignment. The 22 is more of a physical energy. It's the 4. It's the Fool energy of taking that leap of faith physically in this world as the Fool's journey, the human journey through this world. And then 11:32 actually came up too, which is the journey. And then 11:33 is the Christ vibration, right? The bridge to the other side, that 4D energy. And then the 11:44 is the energy of the Hercules energy, the social worker type of Atlas energy, but also that 4 of Cups of boredom and apathy, but which is really meant for grounding and integrating the action that you took. So whenever we experience something, we then need time to be still and ground and integrate that and learn how to receive love from that experience. So the 44 also for me represents the 3D, right? The top of the 3D is the social worker, then going on to the 33 bridge to the 22 5D station, and the 11 of instant manifestation, and then the 00 of now you see me, now you don't, and disappearing into a more of an etheric state. So as I cut the deck at 1122, and the E of chalices came up, and E, the letter, represents one equal and congruent to, but it also represents the temple, the house, and here of chalices is the emotions, right? The emotional life. So the temple of your body of emotions and the human journey here, and then 33 is when Alice came up. So when I think of Alice, the first thing that comes to mind is, go ask Alice, or, Alice doesn't live here anymore, which reference, drug addiction. And then Alice is one of the machines at CERN, so there's also that. But here, Alice was coming up as All I See. And I actually started writing a song called All I See, which I never finished, but that energy of all eyes see. All I see, and then ally see, and C is the whispering bench and the Christ consciousness. And then Alice also came up as A and E on either side as the escorts, or the gate holders, with the LIC in the middle, which LIC means face or cheek, body or gravestone, that flat stone or pool, but also to pour, and the current, like the waves. And the L is the leap of the inner child, IC, lick in the middle. So the leap of the inner child within Mother Nature here, and then the escorts here of A and E, which is that Adam and Eve energy, but also the just the general, masculine, feminine, human energies of the A of the rocket taking off, and then the E of the E tower comes up as well in my reads, but that one equal and congruent to the other, but in a whole different way, right? Two sides of the same coin. So then that 2 and 6 came up because the way the numbers came up in the numerology cards, came up as number 61 is self-love. Let me make sure I'm looking at that right. Yeah, 61 is self-love, and then 88 of abundance, which is the Empress as well. And then 16 came up of rebirth. So 16 and 61 reflect each other, and you then flip the other 6 so that they match exactly reflecting, and then you have that 2. So you have 61 and 12 instead, reflecting each other, with the 88 in the middle, referencing the dance of the masculine and feminine, the Adam and Eve type of energy there, with the 61 of the 7 of Swords card, which is taking a risk, but it's also the year I was born, as it's referencing that as well as the feminine. And then on the other side is the Tower, which is more like that explosive energy of the rocket. And then the dancing 8s in the middle of the twin flames coming to the center into that abundance of Mother Nature, of self-love, abundance, and rebirth. So the major arcana that came up in this read were Justice, Lovers, Transition, Karma, and Guidance. And Transition is the Death card, Karma is the Judgment card, and Guidance is the Hierophant. After the read, well actually before the read, the Hanging Man came up, and then after the read, the Reflection and Solar Deity came up. Reflection is the Hermit, and Solar Deity is the Sun. There was 1 sword, 2 pentacles, and 3 cups, so there's that 1, 2, 3 leap, or jump. And we had double 7s and double 9s, and for me 79 is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, or graduation, so to speak. 77 is the Sovereign, 9 of Pentacles energy, and 99 represents that unending compassion, right? Never nearing the end in your search for the impossible dream. Keep going up and up and up. You keep leveling up and never giving up. The code line here is all about the number 16 again, from 9 and 7, so there's that Tower energy coming in again, which the Tower also references epiphany, because every time you epiphanize, just the action of epiphanizing actually helps level the collective up. So even if you're not, you don't think you have some specific mission, or you're unsure of what exactly you're supposed to be doing, just the energy of, like when I do my reads and I'm constantly epiphanizing all day as I'm channeling this energy, that alone is helping to raise the vibration of the collective. So always know that you are contributing, no matter what you think. Okay, so at 11:55, the completion here, we have as the main players in the read the Knight of Cups and the King of Cups, with the Nine of Pentacles between them, which is that sovereign energy, which came up with the 77. And then after the read, the Queen of Swords and Page of Wands came up, and before the read, the Nine of Wands, or Wounded Warrior, and the Knight of Pentacles came up. As far as the numbers, 12 was significant here as the Hanging Man, the 26, so there's that 2 and the 6 again reflecting each other, the 67 of the Knight of Pentacles, and the 79, like I said, for me is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Yep, and that's it for the numbers. Yeah, okay. So from the code line, the messages I got referenced seeing south and looking up. And again, I kept getting that energy from Instagram messages too, from the Crystal Angels Oracle. I keep getting this energy this week of them showing you how to position your hands to pull your energy up. So you might want to check that out for that reason. But it's coming up here again, and also as my little girl message, right? She was with her left hand swinging her arm down to the right across her body, which then brings the left energy over to the right energy, and then bringing it back up and tossing that boomerang. But south and north were coming up here, and sudden events, but seeing the south and looking up after death. And again, after death keeps coming up as 80 days around the world, right? The 2023 years we've been here after zero. AC/DC and divine co-creation of the Hermit and the Wise One, of the Christed God, which is that G energy of the C and the T, right? The whispering bench, or the bridge, the 4D bridge, that Christ consciousness of getting across to the top dog, the T, which is the only dead end there is, right? Or the whispering bench and 7 orbs and risky downloads, messages, and the King of Cups, which also references the 3 keys and unconditional love. Being adept at the Temple of Chalices, or the House of Chalices, mastering the hidden house of emotions, and Alice's, which Alice literally means, as a definition, fish sauce, and also like a shot, like a pebble shot. And in the Bible, Alice means noble and exalted. And Hallecem, oh, that's so weird, Hallecem. And that group came up, that's what I posted, the song Angel, on my Instagram today. The group, it's called Angel, and the group is called Halle. And this is a word I had to look up because Wiktionary hadn't defined it yet. So Hallecem, or Hallecem, I was trying to figure out what it meant because the dictionary didn't have its meaning yet. So I was looking up Halex, but it wasn't Halex with a U, it was Halex with an EX, which was more the fish sauce, whereas Halex with a U is great toe. And so Alice was coming up as all-purpose, lightweight individual carrying the equipment, right? So the one who's benched, who's not the big football player, again bringing up the reference of David and Goliath. Seize up in alternating currents, suspended animation, divine hermit on the whispering bench, taking a risk to master emotions, adept or after death test. Alice and the E of one equal and congruent of emotions, chalices, the Holy Grail, the whole at God's rail, which rail is also ray or leap, and the bridge, the ark, the whispering bench, noble and exalted, ally, C, of Adam and Eve, with lick, remember the leap of the inner child, in the middle. The leap of the inner child, the flat stone, the path of one, the current of the body, and again the sine wave energy, the cheek, the pool, the gravestone, Alice, all eyes see, all eyes see. A sudden event south and north, ACDC, and again there's that reference of entering through the earth and coming out the other side. A sudden event. So this boomerang tunneling or boring into the ground, like CERN, could literally be causing an equal and opposite reaction to come out of the other side of the earth. So here's this energy of south and north. ACDC and divvying compassion at endings, benched on the whispering bench. And again, I'm getting, is it Adam Sandler does that? I don't know if he's the character, right, who's the water boy. But that's coming up as I'm seeing, you know, the one who's benched, right, who has to carry the equipment. So benched on the whispering bench with Ben and Confucius. And Confucius came up with Ben Franklin recently because Ben Franklin very much believed in Confucius' belief system and was very interested in Chinese history. So Ben and Confucius, and passing messages to or as the master of chalices, and Knight E of chalices, adept home of emotions, and all eyes see, A and E on the whispering bench with the inner child between them in order to leap. And also to see Sophia leap, AD 2023, the godly hermit, divine wise one, in the leap to source creator in order to co-create. The D and IVI is for me is co-creation, but also references the 4, and 1V1 is 4 and 5 and 6, right? So 1V is 4, V is 5, and then V1 is 6, which comes up as the 46 of the inner children loving each other. And then the 5 between, which is the middle road, the change and excitement, the freedom and expansion there of the 46 of the loving inner children. And 505 came up there too, and of course I was just thinking of Levi's when 505 comes up. But again, 505 referencing, right, when the two messengers are in the middle, in that exciting place of 0 point, then your heart soars, so to speak, in the middle with the 0, which is the source energy, allowing you to fly. Or the 2-6, which then comes up, the 2 reflecting the 6, and the 6 is the spiral. So there's that spiraling or boring into the earth, and then spiraling out on the other side, which is that coming up like Newton's, the Newton balls. So the set at 1242 is the Hanging Man and the 2 of Cups, the 7 of Swords or orbs here, and the vehicle of thoughts and words, the King of Cups and unconditional love. And remember, D is also 500. 3 keys, aid part-time, in the house of emotions. So go ask Alice. 1621 also came up as the first Thanksgiving. That year came up, so I looked it up, and it was the first Thanksgiving. And that year, Louis XIV was in France. Wait. Oh, crazy. Ooh, Isaac Newton came up that year. I didn't notice that. Because with the other message, from the inner child, I just got that this morning. But so Isaac Newton came up that day as a student at Cambridge. And then Charles II came up for England that year, and then Louis XIV for France. And again, this energy of being imprisoned and released by King James I. And then the Ming Dynasty came up that year as well. Let's see here. Yeah, so anyway, you can look that year up if you'd like, 1621. And the energies of the 6s and the 1s coming up, 6116 as well, which is the 11 or alignment in the middle of the 2 spiraling energies. So there's the 2 and 6 again. Of the 2116 is 6116, just reflecting each other exactly. Again, coming out, it's the expression of going in one end, like Newton's cradle, and coming out the other in the opposite way, right? Turning it around. Right? Not spiraling into the earth, but then spiraling out the other way, even though it seems like it's in the same direction. And it can be actually boring both sides to the middle as well. But today I was getting the energy of the reaction on the other side, like Newton's cradle. So that's definitely the message that was coming across. So at 1242, we have justice reversed in the underlying energies over here on top. The mini cards on top there. And below the justice reversed was the 7 of Pentacles reversed with the 6 of Pentacles reversed, the 9 of Wands reversed, the Hanging Man reversed, and then the Knight of Pentacles reversed. So all of those cards reversed with justice reversed. Implementing a plan, perhaps, and not sharing. Perhaps an investment that's not equitable. And the Wounded Warrior reversed, surrendering. And awakened behind the scenes, right, where no one really knows. And remember, if people are in negative energy, they could be infiltrating the group in order to alchemize the energy, okay? So awaken behind the scenes, behind the 10 of Pentacles reversed dysfunction, and the Knight of Pentacles reversed inability to function and move on, afraid, holding things up, a block and refusal to work, unfair, or on strike, the Divine Feminine's heart opening up to the inequity of surrender, giving up to the ego versus, or giving up to the ego versus enlightenment of the Knight of Pentacles reversed injustices, destabilized by injustice and not sharing their plight, seeing synchronicities and choices and heaven in their eyes, and confusion, or Confucius perhaps, on which is right in a losing battle with destiny of depression and or arrogance or a lack of light. With Libra upright and reversed, Aquarius reversed here, at 1253 is the Hanging Man and the Knight of Swords, present to gifts, getting over loss, good news, perhaps getting ahead, or feeling shamed. Perhaps in a church of all places, being shamed. And that could be, somebody's wound that needs to come up right now. And this week also, the oldest and deepest wounds you have, the real trauma that's coming up is coming up now, right? The stuff that you couldn't get up before is being released because you've uncovered all the other stuff on top of it. And now that true entry wound may be coming up for you in a really deep trauma that you've experienced. Feeling shamed in a church of all places as the Hermit upright sheds light to face the war within, our fears, the enemy, anxieties, inner war and imprisoning, a long way down to the killing fields. The place we call hell is a place here that we blind ourselves to, the hell of the innocents unable to save themselves, counting on us to raise the collective vibration, to admit the truth and the other side, to come out in the middle and able to observe it all. Disillusionment out there to see, in the full moon's illumination that's still unclear without the sun and the sun's rays. Getting over ourselves in order to be free. Release at the full moon, the purge, the scream, to get it out, to free yourself, to open your heart and take that leap. Break your chains. The lobster up in arms with the hounds of hell holding our children, but joining their howling instead of fighting them. So again, if you can't fight them, join them. And again, there's that transmutation of a light worker coming in and transmuting a dark association. Infiltration in order to transmute. So infiltration to transmutation. So that's a big message right here. And again, we just had this message from the first and second, now coming and bringing together the message that I got from the meditation that I just did today. So infiltration to transmutation, to collapse the polarities to the middle. After the night, finding freedom in the light. With Virgo and Cancer and Aries all upright here, worth waiting for, or getting to know each other. I'm just getting to know you, getting to know all about you. No longer sharing codependencies, but releasing all the pain so that the bliss can come in. Big love at work here for the lover who loves both the dark and the light, seeing both sides of himself to become one and tame the beast. Or is that savagery here coming up. So savagery was coming up. And the great toe, the psoas muscle, and the arch of the back, that which balances us and yet holds a lot of trauma. The psoas muscle holds all the trauma from your infancy that you didn't know how to process any other way. Its purpose to hold that trauma. But if you don't release it, your structure is probably all distorted, because the psoas muscle connects the upper body bones to the lower body bones. And so if it's really tight on one side, it's going to cause your whole bone structure and then your whole organ system to be off, right? So the bone structure being off sets off a chain reaction to the rest of the body. The knees and the shins, 2 lips and roses, my toes, my knees, mitos, and miknes, M-I-K-N-E-S was coming up, as a large amount of churches or broom to sweep. And again, jumping the broom. And is that to mean churches are there to sweep up the dirt? Or M-Y-N-N-E-S means to will or wish, from splitting the cells to willing the dirt to be swept away as you will. So I remember that the splitting, the separation is necessary, right? The splitting of the human cell in order to become more than you are now, right? It's that constant renewal. At 126, there's a 26 again. The leap of the Newton's cradle type of energy, right? Spiraling in one side to come out the other without as much effort, because you don't have to go bore all the way through. At 128, which is the leap and the masculine, the magician, and the 28 of the twin flames, or choice of path. So after the energy of this large amount of churches or broom, and is that meant to mean churches, or is it meant to mean that churches are there to sweep up the dirt, or to will or to wish, from splitting of cells to then will the dirt to be swept away? But the dirt is the earth. Dirt is what grows our food. It's what holds our water and nurtures us. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, from Matthew 6:10. As we forgive others, we are forgiven. Rebirth and abundance and self-love, the 16, 88, and 61. The tower and the risk, and the 88 in the center. The breakdown of the 16 and its tower energies and its reflection. The tower is taking the risk to dance with the one who reflects you oh so perfectly, whether that's for good or for bad, right? The 5D connection, clearing to trust yourself. Learning to trust yourself, right? That's the 5D connection, is teaching you how to learn to trust yourself and your divine connection. When uncomfortable in your emotions, finding the magician within. When there's no affection, finding the star within you, the master of the hidden house, all about the water above and below, and the plasma ethers and watery veil, and the moonlit waters that allows us to reflect ourselves, and the stars that we are. And the energies that all came up there were Gemini upright and reversed, Aquarius upright, and Taurus upright. As the Hierophant is upright here with justice reversed, and there's Libra reversed, imprisonment and freedom, and the strength to tame your ego or the beast, to channel that wild child into a whirlwind of creation, of self-love at 140, which is the leap to the Page of Cups, which is that most innocent part of us. The 61 of taking that risk to love yourself first. The Taurus upright and Libra reversed, Aries and Leo upright here as well. Love here is offered from a need to go home, in a world of injustice, and opening the heart for truth and balance. Or is that a world of justice, where everything is equal and opposite, right? So whenever an imbalance occurs, the universe naturally corrects itself, whether you see it or not. So in a world of justice, and opening the heart for truth and balance, as Pisces and Libra are upright here, for peace and harmony. Limited time only, so says my phone. So at 145 is the leap to the 45 of the Five of Cups, which is that grieving card of loss and regret of the past, but then getting over it. As the recent past is the Page of Pentacles, upright, the student of life in a heated exchange with heartache, vacuuming all the dirt into the heart and saying adios and transmuting like magic with your DNA wand, Capricorn and Gemini or Virgo, magician, with both hands raised, as in the Crystal Angels deck that keeps coming up on Instagram, the devil and the maker of magic with all the tools on display. All kinds come up in the classroom raising their hands to ask, why is this not fair or equal, and why is this broken or stuck? The Page of Pentacles, a curious one who asks a lot of questions and likes to examine all the angles of the gold coin, the Christ consciousness of bliss, in disconnect or distance of the Empress upright, the abundant mother, and the Knight of Wands reversed, who may be influencing her, right? That's that player energy. The Six of Cups, innocent children, and who are those who had come against those children, or the worst being over now of the pain it takes to disconnect, as in when the daughter cell disconnects from the mother cell, or give birth, or splitting cells. The splitting off is the easy part, right? The birthing is the hard part. Taking the baby out at the end is the easy part. The foundation of the F instead of the is the transition reversed, a slow death. Pulling a hair out really slowly would hurt a lot, wouldn't it? Clinging, not allowing the cycle to end for fear of death when it's just a beginning. Dumping a load or responsibility or getting hurt. A confession in order to receive love from secret passion, with no options but to blow their crown wide open, blow their top or their mind, or have an epiphany at 156, which is that leap to that Two of Swords of being in your knowing and keeping your energy clear. Turning everything, turning or throwing everything out and starting over, and clinging to injustice and imprisoning thoughts. With the central energy is the Lovers upright here in this read, the Knight of Swords upright with the Queen of Pentacles reversed, perhaps ungrounded and recovering from exile, with the Queen of Wands upright, defenseless to the Hermit's counsel or light. A mother willing to unground herself to get through to her child, to recover together with a friend or sister, try to be there for both, lifting them both up, but then going under a bit, just like, a child you're trying to save in the water who then starts hitting you as you start going under and drowning because you can't bring this child out of the water without them throwing a fit. So both may be going under a bit in that situation, right, where nobody gets saved, just to come back around like the boomerang with the light again, wiser than before, and demonstrating why and how, so others can do the same. After not coming together, finding the love and affection, challenged by the Seven of Swords of taking that risk to pass downloads or messages, or to be brave and expose your knowings from source, standing in your truth no matter what, having your own back as the lover of the beloved in heated exchange, present to breaking patterns of the King of Wands reversed and the Knight of Wands reversed, with affection for the Page of Wands reversed, the one that's taking you under when you're trying to rescue them, the little ones, and seeing them take on your negative traits, or perhaps a Gemini who's on the warpath, influencing their children in a negative way. But now here is the Knight of Cups upright, with love to share, pulling in peace from the King of Cups, and in conflict with the Ten of Pentacles upright, family, business, or community, with the Hierophant overseeing them. The Knight of Cups upright with good news from a distance, or breakup to make up, to fix or make amends. An all business relationship perhaps here that's not working out, which is no surprise, and the Magician suddenly manifesting, cutting out chopped liver or making mincemeat out of a predator. In the Ten of Pentacles reversed, dysfunctional family or business or community, and the Hermit missing their flame, longing for the King of Wands reversed and their love, as the Knight of Cups is upright and the Page of Cups is upright too, destined to exhaust all options to end the pain with the Emperor and their injustice of stress and sleepless nights and keeping to themselves with the Six of Cups, whether that is that soulmate or soul flame relationship or loving children, and the Queen of Swords reversed, and the Nine of Pentacles reversed, which is a dependency there, or perhaps a big expense, or perhaps the Queen of Swords reversed is, doing some retail healing there. But leaving, perhaps this energy of the Queen of Swords, dependent, leaving, or just taking a walk into that good night to rise and shine the next day and let it go that night. Dumping karmic ties and strumming their pain as a narcissistic hierophant, perhaps refusing to tell and continuing to avoid the dance or avoidance, perhaps pretending all is well in front of the kids when it is not. And soon here is karmic upright or implications, as the Knight of Cups offers love to go through the lack of peace, to tell the truth about what's not working, and being strong with the Page of Swords reversed, who may be lying and spying or spreading rumors, or just in negative self-talk, of no options but to tell their secrets, or a secret passion for patient angel or Sagittarius here at 225 of the Divine Feminine or Higher Self, and the Knight of Wands, who was reversed earlier in the read, right? Which is that player who's up to no good. Or perhaps they're paralyzed by their passions, or fell short on energy they thought they had. As the twin flames at 226 again, right? Again, the Newton's Cradle energy of 26, I'll have to write that down. The twin flames are the Nine of Pentacles reversed, feeling powerless, the dependent or losing power, losing money or status or independence after a death or ending of injustice or that you think is unfair. The Queen of Cups upright here is not coming together with ego-driven one, hiding behind this Ten of Pentacles reversed family, business, or community of dysfunction or loss, offering to pay for their damages or move or visit or lack of stability, or now that the party's over, offering a new life, now that the hard part is done, and the Ten of Wands reversed, the Ten of Pentacles reversed, and the Seven of Pentacles reversed, perhaps having invested all of their money into a house, or again the money pits, funny that movie came up on Netflix last night, or poor investment, or in debt, spending more than they have, rising above instability with the King of Swords reversed, receiving a message of love from the Page of Cups at the Three of Pentacles workplace or place of co-creation. Perhaps the King of Swords reversed runs into the Page of Cups, the child of the Queen of Cups. Perhaps the Queen of Cups is without joy here, or not coming together, being antisocial, while the Page of Cups is doing well at work. Or perhaps the Queen of Cups has a loving message that comes through her work. Playfulness, codependence, flirting. It is safe for you to love here. At 235, which is the Divine Feminine or Higher Self and the Wounded Warrior, around the twins or how they're seen is the Guidance card upright, which is the Hierophant. Perhaps it's not going the King of Pentacles reverse way, as the King of Pentacles reverse may be dissatisfied or arrogant here, or ungrounded at least, Hierophant frustrated by the Empress upright. A lot of Taurus right there, perhaps going through marital mediation or trying to settle. Perhaps Gemini and Leo with underlying issues. The block here is the King of Cups reversed, who could be someone who's detached emotionally or depressed or alcoholic father here. With the Ten of Cups reversed, unhappy family or ending a cycle that's way overdue to be over. As the Ace of Cups is upright with a big offer of love here, with the Divine Feminine or Pisces upright, perhaps patient, angel or Sagittarius, sunshine or kids on vacation perhaps, or exposure of the Knight of Pentacles reversed, who may be blocking an announcement from getting out, or Aquarius perhaps in jail, or a wake-up call giving them anxiety at 243 about the feminine or higher self coming together in joy, with no more codependence and only the truth, as the Hermit distances themselves from the Queen of Swords reversed and the Page of Wands reversed, exposing all. As the Queen of Swords reversed could be an Aquarius and the Page of Wands reversed could be a Leo, perhaps unable to function during the day or in front of others with anxiety issues. With Libra, Scorpio reversed, but Gemini, Aquarius, Taurus, Virgo, and Leo are upright here as the main energies. Perhaps The Knight of Pentacles reversed is awake to the injustice of not transitioning and clinging, or after a death or ending and feeling powerless, dependent with guidance of the Page of Pentacles, or perhaps a younger sibling who's more positive and able to help them, perhaps offering them affection, or Gemini challenged by risk or divine messages. Maybe they don't believe in God, right? And a wake-up call to the King of Cups reversed and the Knight of Cups upright, offering and receiving big love in return. And light from the Hermit, not seeing eye to eye with the Queen of Swords reversed and the Page of Wands reversed, who either are fully exposing others or now they are fully exposed at 254, which is that Page of Swords Gemini energy. So the King of Wands reversed may be investing or implementing a plan now, not sharing and surrendering to awaken, an awakening of the Knight of Pentacles reversed and their injustice. With the Page of Pentacles, perhaps a younger sibling, after an ending or clinginess or exhaustion with affection of lovers, challenged by messages, downloads, but the Knight of Cups is loving to the Knight of Pentacles reversed, dependent or powerless to judgment and guidance of the King of Cups reversed, who may have conditions of love, but even so, receiving big love from the Hermit with the light, and not agreeing with the Queen of Swords reversed and the Page of Wands reversed on vacation, or perhaps exposed and now seen at 3 o'clock. And there's that energy of Jesus on the cross at 3 o'clock. So that is that message. My first message of the day I'm bringing to you is here. So that top deck is Journey of Love, and then we have the Fortune's Oracle, and then the Energy deck and the Rider-Waite. And the left is the underlying energies. I usually pull 3 cards. Sometimes another will come out. And then the piles on the other side, on the right, are cards that organically wanted to come out, in addition to the 3 I pulled. And I use them for numerology and to complete the storyline for each deck. So for these decks, they came out 632 to 35. So the 32 of the Journey of Love, which is the Journey of Love, the 33 of the Christ Vibration for the Fortune's Oracle, 34 of the Energetic Exchange, that 8 of Wands of the Energy deck, perfect, and then the 35 of the Wounded Warrior in the Rider-Waite, and that Need to Surrender. So the piles at the end of each deck came out to 2312 or 33341. And the energies came up of the Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine pillars. So again, the messengers escorting the middle there, that Mother energy or Mother Nature energy, the abundant energy, the Source Feminine energy. As the Divine Feminine and Masculine pillars, the Empress, the Hanging Man, and so there's the Empress came up again. This is totally separate from the die, but it's coming up in the same way. The Hanging Man and the Christ 33 bridge, the energetic exchange between, and the 33, remember, is the part of the Rolling Stone. We have the EE of energetic exchange here too. The Rolling Stone is that E that falls over into the M, that falls over into the 3, that falls over into the W. The energetic exchange between the King of Wands and that 1, 2, 3 leap across the 33 bridge for the Ace of Cups Holy Grail. And a bridge for 1 also comes up there, and the 41 is the Holy Grail, the Ace of Cups. To fly, the 1, 2, 3 leap to fly, fly, fly for 1. As the horizontal crosses the lambda leap, the vertical leap of the rocket, they cross paths in order to connect. The King of Wands leaps to the King of Wands across the rainbow arc to big love. So he leaps across himself, across that rainbow bridge or that 40 arc to reach that big love, the Holy Grail, or that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, which is just his the other side of himself. So at 647 is the underlying energy, the Lovers and the 47 of the 7 of Cups, which also for me is synchronicities and heaven in their eyes. It's also the 4 to 7 of the heart to the crown. The underlying energies of 35 of intimacy, the 23 of the owl, the 32 of the door to spirit, and the 3 of pentacles, which is number 71. The wounded warrior's surrender, and the MM of Mary Magdalene, to the wise owl King of Wands to reflect 23 of the King of Wands to the 32 of the journey, to cleanse the spirit and open the door, coming together to marry, create, to hone their skills, the wounded warrior and the King of Wands journey of co-creation and honoring of each other. The underlying energy here at 650, 50 is the 10 of Cups of emotional fulfillment, with the 63 of the light field, the 18 of distant shores, the 38 of the pearl threaded, and the 54 of earth angel. And there's that Gemini page of swords energy. And the 35 of intimacy, the wounded warrior. In Tim, the top dog I am, AC. Full exposure on the bridge here, in the middle of the bridge. The suffering and silence of being fully exposed to the energy flying at you. Stress while another is under the bridge, being protected by the bridge, but in the rough waves, reflecting 4 moons and projecting her calm, while above feeling her blast. It's like her energy in the wave is coming back at him on top of the bridge, like something going around and then circling back around again. The bridge over troubled water, the subconscious romance, feeling the divide of lifetimes past, blaming each other for the trauma without and within, submerged in emotion or taking the hit for the other. As the Queen of Cups, perhaps Cancer here, is the thread that connects the pearls, the dirt transmuted to pearlescence. And I just, yesterday I posted a song on Instagram with Evanescence, which is wanting to come up right here. The dirt transmuted to pearlescence, the beauty that's come with each person's difficult experience, that little gem and pearl of wisdom that connects us all in the message. The river runs through it to get the message across to the other side as she blankets the earth with her blues, greens, and yellows, bringing everyone to the middle so she can have some private time in the vortex in surrender at 7:01. The Queen of Cups and the Page of Swords at 7:02, which is the Chariot and the Feminine, in the 31 of the Christ Flame and the 37 of Fire and Ice, the bad, the good, and the entrance, from polarity to the middle for dress rehearsal. As the ladies, I was getting the ladle there, or lattice. As the ladies or lattice then lay down their hair for him to arrive. Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair. And I always remember in Sesame Street with my son that it was always the Count who came to Rapunzel's and says, Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair. I will count to 10. So it was that kind of energy. But the DNA carpet here of their hair, with the 48 of Man of the Earth and Women of the Sky, the 24 of the Queen of Wands and the space between, the 29 of the Spiral Dance of the Goddess, and the 50 of the 10 of Cups of the Cloak. The Queen of Wands present with that 10 of Cups energy or family, or the gift to or from them, in the space between as she spirals her web, she is cloaked by the 10 of Cups family, Green Goddess, and Periwinkle Man. And Periwinkle breaks down to per I win, and KLE is the key. Per I am the win key. Green Goddess and Periwinkle Man. At 7:44, which is the 7 is the key, and the 44 of that 5 or that 4 of Cups of grounding, integrating how to receive love. So at 7:44 is the underlying energy of the 7 of the Cracker, 8 of the Dragonfly, 19 of Luck, and 24 of Patience, 30 of the Sun, and 23 of the Owl, as the Chariot of Fireworks, and Dance of the Dragonfly, 2 as 1 hearts, the 7 and the 8 of Heaven on Earth, and Luck on your side. Because remember, 9 after 78 is then the end. It's the closing chapter where you don't go forward anymore, kind of clean up and let go of what you don't need anymore to enter the new cycle. So with Luck on your side and Leo's strength and the Sun, where July 8th, August 19th, 24th, and 30th are coming up, As the Queen of Wands, patience with home, and the 30 of the Sunny Union, and the King of Wands, 23, the owl waiting for just the right time when the sun is just right. The 28 of the Snake, the 27 of Proposal, the 9 of the Eagle, as the twin flames weave and entangle. The King of Wands, 2 of Swords, and Ace of Wands, as the King of Wands, twin flame with new passion, to soar like the eagle hermit, headed right for the lover's chariot, and the Lion's Tower, as the birds split direction and go separate ways. As the King of Wands owl goes back, the hermit eagle goes forward, as the chariot aligns at the starting gate. And I wrote 9-6, this was on the 2nd, 9-6, and that's today. 9-6 and the 15th to the 16th, which were energies of Saturday, Wednesday, and then Saturday again. On your marks, get set, as the lion's heart calls the race. Unicorn stallions present, or stall lions at the gates, ready to release or ready to race. The shadow key and lock, ready to unlock as you release the past. Fire, Virgo, Gemini, Scorpio, and Capricorn here. At 7:59 is the key to that war within, the 59, the underlying energy of the 53, the Knight of Swords, the Magician, and the Mirror. Perhaps Gemini and Virgo crowning with the 24 Omega and adjacent possibilities, the Queen of Wands and the King of Cups, and the 3 keys and unconditional love, with Archangel Chamuel's confidence on their journey through purification of Virgo, as the dove scrambles to get in the door. Okay, so it's like you've done all this clearing, and now the dove is just trying to get that last bit of purification done to get in the door, to get it open. The 804 is the dance, and the 4. The 4 for me is survival, and the 8 is the dance of dreams. So bringing both sides of that, of the human experience, with the 0 or space between. The first card out here was the 4 of the Happy Family, the 3 of the Blossoming Abundance, and we have the 4 and the 3, which is the Emperor and the Empress there. The Happy Family and the Blossoming Abundance, and then the 5 of Attachment, and the Lambda, or Lamb to Father Leap, and the Soaring Bird, which is the horizontal, the Emperor and the Empress. The door to Spirit bursting open to bring abundance and happy family over the bridge to to grandmother's house, to grandmother's house, Mother Nature, as the master of the hidden house removes their mask to see in living color, or the officiant needs to take a moment to shield their face in the light of this rainbow family. The Father Bridge or Arc, or time in Mother Nature, with space to share Sophia's pace, as the 35 Wounded Warrior and Archangel Michael at the root in the first chakra at home, in union with Little Girl, the Garden and the Gate, the Garden of Ease Den and Lion's Gate, and the gift of being present to the world from another planet, seeing Earth from a larger perspective, the spaceship we all call home, the officiant that marries Father Son and Mother Nature, and the underlying energy at 8:15, which is the strength of dreams coming true, and the 15 of the shadow side, the underlying energy of coming clean, getting clean, cleaning up your act or space, or cleaning up, for at a distance the Knight of Wands upright is rushing in, away from the Queen of Pentacles reversed, who may be ungrounded, or perhaps all about the money or the stability, or perhaps without grounds, with the world upside down or needing closure, as the Queen of Swords upright speaks of dumping emotional attachments that no longer serve. Taking the high ground, standing in your power in energetic exchange, with the Knight of Swords reversed, perhaps in a losing battle with guilt or regret at 8:18, which is the energy of manifesting dreams, and then the energy of the moon of the subconscious and romance type energies. There's this Knight of Swords dealing with a losing battle of guilt or regret, of loss, of sadness, the past. Home being a prison for the King of Swords upright. Or perhaps he feels trapped with a child or his own anxieties or his own, like I said. The King of Swords upright is with the Ten of Pentacles, family here, or business or community, right? Something of great wealth, with a sudden event or realization of the High Priestess and the Hierophant, which can represent the nun and the priest, or opposite perspectives on religion, one being traditional, one being alternative, or a silent partner here. Scorpio, Pisces, or Virgo and Taurus, or an exorcism here. Working to reconcile differences, or the Ten of Pentacles giving away all of their worldly goods to their religious institution, or bound by a religious contract or Scientology perhaps, or the King of Swords feels imprisoned by family gatherings of religious family or spiritual versus religious, or the all-boys club, working like clockwork, an assembly line with the wounded warrior on guard to this, working too hard for too long and out in the cold or destitute, injured, ill, with dependents, the Nine of Pentacles reversed and the Knight of Pentacles upright, or young workers or children leaving because they don't resonate with the family belief systems. As the Knight of Pentacles upright offers to help or work for the Hermit reversed, or take care of a parent with dementia or some other issue, or coming out about their dissatisfaction, their unhappiness, as the Fool is free from the weak King of Cups reversed and their Ten of Cups reversed family, the Six of Cups reversed negative past or childhood, or falling out, looking back one last time, and is there any reason these two should not be married or forever hold their peace? So at 8:33, again manifesting dreams of the Christ consciousness across the bridge, and the full moon upright as it was on the 30th to the 31st, as the dogs howled and third was up in arms, losing patience or their temper, the fallen angel, perhaps offering a new or offered a new life, to make a plan or invest in coming together in joy, but under the radar or without too much attention around it. As the twin flames are excited to break patterns together, the King of Pentacles reversed is destined to be schooled or to school the golden goose, perhaps for flapping their wings, uncomfortable stuck with them, and then confessing the whole truth, dumping a load, a burden, or all their responsibilities to triumph over pain or in a painful ending, not sharing the inequity of the Page of Pentacles reversed and their injustice, and the frustration of the Queen of Wands who dumped or is rejecting a love offer here, and the Star healing dreams, grounding and integrating how to receive love when stressed out or not sleeping, with nightmares and no peace, in separation, disappointment, or stress to the heart, or in detoxing addiction or codependency, how to receive love, holding on, cards close, being practical after an ending, or clingy kids, maybe who are draining, and the Page of Swords reverse was lying or spying, or won't be quiet and can't sleep, or they're up all night. And maybe you have a child who has issues and they can't help it. With the Magician and Chariot, perhaps with a lot of confidence, boldly moving toward the Empress reversed and the Queen of Cups reversed, who may be hanging out in a pending judgment, or needing to swallow their pride and heed the call with the Emperor upright, keeping to themselves, or requiring more information to make a decision, or just pretending not to know so he doesn't have to deal with it. His silence being challenged to face his fears, as the Knight of Cups is moving on to offer love to the Page of Cups reversed, between the Knight of Cups and the King of Wands, or the King of Wands is rejecting the Knight of Cups' offer, or witnessing the older child helping out the younger one, as the Magician is coming on strong with the Empress reversed and the Emperor upright, with Gemini, Cancer, and Capricorn or Pisces and Aries upright, but Taurus is reversed, Aquarius is reversed, and the Empress and Queen of Cups are reversed. The Emperor upright, but alone, and the Knight of Cups upright with the Page of Cups reversed are with the King of Wands here upright. And the masculine's superpowers are definitely coming online, or they're now recognizing them for what they are. That was coming up here too. All right. So is this the next one? Let's see here. So then we have this one here. Okay, so this one starts with the Journey of Love, and then the Good Tarot, and then the Energy Deck, and Rider Waite there at the bottom. Okay, so this one was pulled from 434 to 437, which the Journey of Love is 34. That's the energetic exchange, the 8 of Wands. The 35 is the Wounded Warrior, 9 of Wands. And the 36 is the Atlas energy of the 10 of Wands. 37 is the King of Cups going into the next suit. The cards at the end of these decks came up as 1111, which the first entry in Gematria is Twin Flames, and then also 15137 came up. So the 4 ones of the Twin Flames going into the 15137 was bringing up the 4 ones and then crossing the 4 ones with the fifth element or ether coming up. And again, I was just getting the little girl that I was telling you about, flinging her arm down across herself and then flinging the boomerang. So that's relating to this collective 5 of the ether being the whole of the 4 elements. The way, and again, the 5D coming up is the way station to level up, right? The way to level up. The leap of the 5 of ether, the leap, the fly, going from the leap to then flying and ascending, right? Like just like a child learning to walk, you're learning to ascend. First you leap and then you fly. You actually are able to stay up in the air. Many of you may have had lots of dreams as a child of flying or trying to fly and ascending. So 5 between the fly and the ascending part, free or changing direction there. As the twin flame magic of the King of Swords and the King of Cups, which is the mastery of thoughts and emotions, with Gemini or Virgo and Capricorn and Libra here, the King of Swords with the 3 keys of alchemy. Double justice, double jeopardy, double indemnity all coming up. And the doppelganger, I'd woken up that morning, literally, they were saying doppelganger, and I would never remember that word, believe me. But that came up as the first message as I was waking up that morning. The double walker, the double rider, or the body double. So again, the evil twin comes up with the doppelganger. The walk, the leap, the drive, ride, and ascend. The lamb to father leap, to breathe again. The twin flame shadow leap, and the devil's triangle came up with the Florida Keys. Both are called the devil's triangle, basically, but the Bermuda Triangle and then the devil's sea is the triangle by Japan. So those 2 triangles were coming up, and I came across a picture when I was looking up them with a star pattern of portals, but I changed one of them. So because one of them was supposed to be not where they had it, I think it was in Tibet, was supposed to be the Devil's Triangle by Japan. So we have the star was made up of the Bermuda Triangle, the Devil's Triangle, Easter Island, Antarctica, and then Uluru. Those were the 5 points of the reversed 5-pointed star. Okay, so that came up. So again, the islands were coming up as the keys, right? Is land keys. And remember, Atlantis actually means island because Atlantis was a bunch of different islands, okay? But there's a reference to that here. So Bermuda, the Bermuda Triangle, most of you probably already know, it's Bermuda to the Florida Keys to Puerto Rico. And then the Devil's Sea, which is the Philippine Sea, which is basically Tokyo to Mala, Philippines, or Luzon, and then to Guam, the Dragon's Triangle. But they're both called the Devil's Triangle, depending on who's saying it. So then the number 151 came up, which is the 15 of the Devil and the 51 of the King of Swords. So him and his shadow, the shadow and the King of Swords. And remember, the Queen of Swords is 52, so her shadow then comes up as the 25, which is that Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands and Queen of Swords. The underlying energy started here at 512, which is the Hierophant and the Hanging Man, as the underlying energy was the 33 of God Speaks, And then the Queen of Air, which is the Queen of Swords, 52, came up after I'd just written that, and the 49 of the Angel of Love, and the 10 of Cups of the number 50, which is that ultimate emotional fulfillment. God says it's time. Across the 33 bridge to the Queen of Swords with the owl at her side, getting her wish, the Angel of Love, and happy with self, and the 10 of Cups family, the family emotionally fulfilled. As the 7 of Wands and the Queen of Swords, the 10 of Cups and the 9 of Cups are here in the Christ vibration, the ultra sound, in the sine wave, string, to the Queen of Swords, butterfly, and owl. An extension of herself with wise counsel on her left shoulder. Mother and daughter, Sophia and inner child, happy and satisfied as God speaks through them, as the arc of happiness hangs over their heads. The underlying energy of the 48 of man of the earth, woman of the sky within, her hair and his light, and the 47 soft as a pearl, the 48 of 2 hearts, and the 47 of the heart to the crown. The 22 of the 5D, stating loving all that is, the 5D stationing of 22 and loving all that is, inside and out, to the 6D11 and the eruption of light, and I was getting Z there as well, as she is soft and flowing and naturally aligned, and Hieros Gamos with 69/8 pod of contemplation of a new life. The 26 comes up here again, and again the Newton's Cradle, the guardian of the soul family, the child, the creation, that each is a portal through which God speaks. And the 47 plus 22 equals the 69, plus 11 is the 80 of, again, around the world in 80 days. The 47 and 48 is also 95, and the 69 and 26 is 95. And the 22 and 11 end up between them as the 33, between 95 and 95. So like the 21-88-16, or the 16-88-21, or the 61-88-12, or the 12-88-61, the 95 is now here with 33, and 95 on the other side as well. And 95 is the opposite of 59, which is the war within. And in numerology, the 2-digit number works as if like the 9 is the inner self, and then the 5 is the outer self. So the 9 is being selfless, which then is not loving yourself. So you don't want that as the inner self, right? That could be fine on the outer self as you service to the world, but the inner self needs to be the 5, which is free and in the middle at 0 point, right? You want that, so you want the 95, right? Because the 95 is then the free heart to be able to serve the world. Okay, so that energy of 95 and 59 are reflecting each other here with the 33 bridge in the middle. Going from the inner war of the 3D human to the free heart of the 5D human going across the 33 bridge. The 95 of freedom and service to all, and it's funny because 95, runs along the whole coast of the East Coast, the United States. When your heart is light, as in the 5 in the middle of freedom and excitement and fun, compassion running through you is then easy. But the selfless heart, again, doesn't love self first and grows weary over time with little to offer the mass and just waiting to be free on the outside, which then never happens. And then they just become resentful for everything they give because they're taking away from themselves. So God speaks the truth through the Queen of Swords and the Angel of Love, through their sweet heart, that's a happy heart, and within, so without, to the happy family at 604, which is the lovers, and then the 4 of the lambda or lamb to father leap, but the 4 is also the emperor, and the 6 is the family, which references more of the feminine energy, the spiral. But also then 604 is reflecting the 46 of the loving inner children and spinning that as well, because 64 card is the 10 of Swords, of ending the pain. The first card out then is the 23 of the King of Wands, and again this year, 2023, and it was the energy of the 20 or judgment that day on the 4th, in the wake-up call to master passions, across the waters seeing the light, while in both the chaos and the calm, and at peace with both. The 59 of the Temple of Liberty, and 2 hearts that are free, as the 5 and the 5 equal 10, destined unity. But 2 hearts of 9 and 9 equals 18, of the subconscious realms, the unknown, the shadow of the moon. The heart is not clear here, never nearing the end. A heart that is selfless is not serving themselves and your highest good, as the 5 is the middle, moving toward the 6 and up an octave, flying is the 33. The 5 is the momentum, free as a bird, to fly higher and higher within, the guidance to the all. Not saving everyone, which you know is exhausting, but leading by example, teaching them to save themselves by lighting up their hearts too, so God can flow through. In the 59 temple, the 3D body, the truth shall set you free. So only through the war within can you free yourself and flip the narrative from a fairy tale to her story, her path, or her why in the road at 0 point field. 2 95s are escorting, and notice 95 and 95 is 190, which is the sun backed up by source. So 95s are escorting the 33. The gate holders and the bridge you see. The U is the Holy Grail, the C is the Holy Communion, or the Holy Calm Union, the way I like to present it. The 53 of the Knight of Swords with their legacy of light, the messenger of truth, as they learn to use their wings and fly, before mastering the hidden house at 0 point field, at the 5, or the 4 to 7 sweet spot, just airing to the side of the light. She in the wall, mastering her passions. He with his sleeping bag, camping out with the truth fully exposed. The 58 of the 4 of Swords, of beauty rest, and the beauty of the 5D connection, when the heart is free and clear, or debt-free, like in meditation. The underlying energy here at 629 changing to 630, which is the lovers and the union, after the heartbreak and the separation of the 57 of the Empress and the Tower of 16, collecting feathers on her path each day, after imprisonment and release, to find the 6 of Swords peace, and her ship coming in, as literally the cards were coming up as 6, and below that number 8, and then the Tower. As 6-8 Tower here, of the Page of Pentacles, the student of a towering event, or epiphanizing, or the 8-6-8, 86ing the student, and the 8-6-8 actually equals 22, at the 5D22 station, both dancing poles and spiraling in the middle like a whirlpool. As waves stabilize each side, the ship gets closer to shore, to the treasure, to the pot of gold on the other side of the rainbow. So I'm going to say that again. As 86ing the student at the 5D22 station, both dancing the poles, the polarities, and spiraling in the middle like a whirlpool. So again, bringing both sides to the middle. As the waves stabilize each polarity, the ship then gets closer and closer to the shore, closer and closer to the middle, as the spiral gets smaller and smaller as you get closer and closer to the middle, to the treasure in the pot of gold on the other side of the rainbow. From Rapunzel's E-Tower to Pirate's Cove, or the Bat Cave, the 8 of Cups, as he's gone within, the worst is over, with feathers all around in abundance, and Pegasus, that's Pegasus' signature, is the fallen feather. So you know that they're close, as bliss starts to set in at 639, which is the lovers and the Knight of Cups. The 6 of Earth comes up here, but I wanted to say birth, because it looks like a B and Earth, or B Earth is birth, so they wanted me to remind you of that again. The word birth is literally B Earth. The 6 of Earth, or the 6 of Pentacles here, sharing, being charitable, balanced, as the dear one is adorned in jewels, as the 8 of Pentacles, Earth, is the cello, or bass, at the root of the tree, the wooded creation, or the music, which is the muse of the inner child, that runs through it. working to align with nature, the feminine to play with shape, after the masculine makes a change and cuts the wood so that you can make music together. Mother Nature and the Queen of Air expressing her thoughts in creative ways, using her wisdom, her source channel. As the next deck starts with number 1 as the King of Fire at 645, the lovers and the grief that they need to let go of. The King of Fire wears the sun as a crown, his heart on his sleeve, as Confucius say, as Lady Liberty has a conversation with them, comparing her Bermuda Triangle with his Dragon Triangle to collapse west and east, or we to the middle. She becomes wise and stops thinking to be wise, to become wise, and he tackles his ego for a slow burn, warming up the conversation for her to interject or just smile at his efforts, both wise beyond their years, yet very young at heart. He wants to know how she stands in the wall of chaos, unaffected, and she just wants to know that he wants to know, as he lights up her day with his sunny disposition, enjoying the challenge at 653 of the Lovers in the Knight of Swords, Messenger of Truth. 2 of Fire and the Sun of choice or of vacation, as the twin flames in the sun are fully exposed, or the child who rides or is hesitant to ride the giraffe, right? The one who's scared to get up on that tall being, doing all the work for her, even though the giraffe's willing to do it all, and holding the light, for she is the sun that wells from inside of him, and he comes bearing gifts, or perhaps children perhaps. The temple path of the Y in the road, with loving neck to see over any fences put up with the sun, or she with Lady of Liberties and sun, and he with Girl of Anxiety and Brazen One, or Famous One, or wants to be Famous One who catches her son's eye, as she waits in the rafters with God for the light to reach her, as she has created within, like God or in God's likeness, a week with rest at the end, and then another week to ground and integrate, and then 80 days around the world for the light to get there, plus 1 to share it with, becoming 81 at 702, which is the Chariot and the High Priestess with space between. The Messenger of Earth, or the Knight of Pentacles, can get emotional at times, as the 5 of Cups, which is water, and longing to crawl back in her shell. But in her sovereignty of the 9 of Earth, she dances on air with the greatest of ease, between 9 of Earth and the 5 of Air, keeping her heart light, and yet grounded to the earth, running on empty down I-95, with the 7 of Water and heaven on her mind. She may take liberties, but also can be chill. And she, a scared little girl at times, but destined pure sunshine in the end. She may show her earth, water, and air, but her fire runs deep in her lion's heart at 711, as the underlying energy is the 40 of the Page of Cups and Archangel Metatron and the 6th chakra, the shock ray. Her sweetheart in the mother's spiraling ray, the powerful yet innocent one with huge wingspan, with the 48 and 49, the angel of balance and the angel of love, or 2 little extensions of him to keep him in check. At 715, which is the Chariot and the 15 of the shadow or the devil, the first card here is the 11 of Cornucopia, aligning with Thanksgiving each day. And that came up in, 1661. And the 3 of Mother Nature's blossoming abundance, or pond for refreshments after dinner, with Justice and Empress, or Libra and Taurus, and the 26 of Newton's Cradle, and the Page of Wands with hostilities, due to Dark Mother of envy and judgment, perhaps Libra with sweetheart, and Taurus with hostilities, or abundant divorce with blossoming abundance, but the Page of Wands is pissed off, with a envious, judgmental mother here, and the underlying energy at 722 of the Chariot and the Fool, with bad influences, gossips, and partiers, of the Empress reversed, falling from grace, or third party of the emperor reversed, or he antisocial, or embarrassed, or fell on his face. Lacking faith, as the hermit sheds light and held it there, so he could see what he could see, and his foolishness, as Aries reversed and Virgo upright, present in downturn, or slow down, or twist of fate, weak or afraid or sick, and needing courage and strength to co-create, to come to work, to the temple, to school, wherever, the art center, the gym, and accept the kindnesses offered that he had ignored multiple times before, or perhaps 3 exactly. As the Page of Wands reversed may be the angry young man, perhaps the angry yang man, frustrated, not aroused, and picking up their sword. As the Page of Pentacles reversed is unable to function, or stubborn, without courage, or without the balls to get moving, or stuck, disabled, with the High Priestess, Sister, Aide, or Secret Keeper, Psychic, the Quiet One, with the Empress reversed, or children, with their Puritan mother and ill grandmother, or just mother and grandmother with sister who has an RN perhaps, and postpartum perhaps, or in lack, presenting the truth or serving up their crown to the magician, or Pisces or Virgo upright and Taurus reversed, tells the truth to Gemini or Virgo upright, or to manifest by dumping emotional attachments and lack of peace, to surrender as the wounded warrior to the King of Cups, and unconditional love or lover, juggling or performing for customers or patients, or distracting the masses from their worries, or doing the daily grind with their eyes closed. So apparently they're bored because they can do it with their eyes closed, when suddenly the Knight of Swords comes rushing in with delivery or deliverance, or you're under arrest. As the Queen of Wands looks the other way, with the King of Pentacles upright and the Page of Swords reversed, or the Queen of Wands likes to talk or tell others how it is, and the King of Pentacles likes to keep to himself, or perhaps he's snubbing her because he sees himself as above her in status, or with 2 kids where one is off and running and the other is in negative self-talk, and both are perhaps trying his patience or to see what's wrong with them. Perhaps the Page of Swords reversed is lying or spying, or with a mental disconnect, perhaps talking back or potty mouth, or spreading rumors of overwork, overtime, or not working out, or wants to go to the pool and hang out with a girl, or didn't work out with their neighbor, Divine Feminine or Pisces, or the Page of Swords freaks out when they see the girl that they like. Sudden temptation, out of control, perhaps testing them as the Page of Pentacles, or Capricorn, or Scorpio, or spontaneous orgasm, perhaps seen as an invite for the Knight of Wands to ride in and save the day, or on call and exhausted, running on adrenaline, or finding an excuse not to change or end a cycle, and boldly moving toward the Queen of Swords, rather. Pisces, Scorpio, Capricorn, Sagittarius upright, and Cancer upright, but Scorpio reversed here, or divide and conquer as the Queen of Swords connects one-to-one with those suffering in silence, or perhaps their sister, or stressed and not sleeping, despite the 4 of Wands stable home and the 10 of Cups happy family, or the Queen of Swords has a lot of one-to-one to do for a big party and hasn't slept a wink. And how's she going to get that done? Someone is sad or feels guilty or wasn't invited to the feast, or the King of Wands was not invited to the Page of Swords' party, or someone's about to get married and having second thoughts, or sad to say that they have to go, as the 10 of Wands reversed is dumping a load, a burden, or responsibilities, or confessing their anxieties, or POW status, as guardian of the tribe, perhaps feels trapped when offered passion, anxious and scared, or blind rage in or in a heated exchange, or the nerve of them as the lover to keep trying, with patience to receive the Ace of Cups, the divine lovers, a higher love, the patient angel who receives lots of love, or Holy Communion, or the Gemini Sag upright who receives love but offers sex in return, not out of love but to insist on their way, or the Divine Feminine got hurt and can't take care of their responsibilities, and yet they still try to add more to his plate. Now, that's supposed to be the Divine Masculine there. Perhaps both. So, or the Divine Masculine got hurt and can't take care of his own responsibilities, and yet the group is still trying to add more onto his plate, ignoring their pleas or blocks, or he has to turn down passionate offers all day, and the last thing he wants is another that's been blocked over and over again, or an offer that was a little too late, or delay after delay, or a million excuses as they receive plenty of love elsewhere or from the source, or overloaded with creations, and there's too much now, or rapid fire, or perhaps churning them out. Perhaps somebody's getting chewed out. As the Queen of Pentacles reverse is offering love, but without time, money, and effort, or perhaps someone is offering love but not money, and the other person wants the money, or the time, or the effort. But if they're offering love, they are offering time or effort. But perhaps he doesn't see that. As the Queen of Pentacles reverse offering love, but without time, money, and effort, or saving to heal, and this could also be a partner who doesn't work, so perhaps the masculine wants their wife to start contributing or help, or saving to heal or shine light, take off not sharing with the Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community, or healing the inequity of family work or community dysfunction, coming clean about dissatisfaction with self, or cleaning up or not getting their way, or just unhappy and feeling alone. As an announcement comes, a wake-up call, perhaps to a divorcee or about a divorce, God, sovereign, free, or spiritual wake-up call to empowerment, as the Queen of Cups is standing up for themselves to end conflict with the Knight of Cups. They're both upright. The Queen of Cups is trying to get the Knight of Cups to listen, but he won't, saying all is well. You're just imagining that. As the Four of Pentacles and Sun are upright, holding on to sunshine and being practical and happy, saving for vacation or keeping their cards close so they don't expose themselves, a choice to separate or an ultimatum, and a storm, perhaps feeling left for dead and a painful ending, and justice at night while sleeping, perhaps someone's finally getting some sleep, as the King of Wands and the King of Swords, both upright here, with new information and clarity, are mastering their passions and their thoughts, as Leo or Cancer and Libra or Aquarius upright, and the Seven of Pentacles, assessing their worth at 919, the Hermit and the Sun, reaping rewards, retiring, walking away from failure or neediness or a bad reputation or shadiness, as the Page of Cups reversed is a rejection, or perhaps someone's being called a crybaby, or perhaps they're just shy, or a spoiled child who feels entitled, and the Six of Cups reversed, falling out, or a negative past or childhood, the kids acting up, facing their worst fears, and hung out to dry, or strung up, or hanging out, exclusive gathering, perhaps there's a bouncer at the door and you can't get in at 9:27. And that was that message. So let's go ahead and pull a final card. Let's see, where am I going to pull from? Where do I want to pull from? Let's pull from the energy deck, see what comes up here. And it's 3:30 on the clock. That's 0, backing up the 33 of the 40 bridge and the Christ vibration, the unity consciousness. And it's 1:38, moving on to 1:39 on this clock, and just past 33. And that's the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Cups that just came up as these 3 cards come up. The 32 of the journey, and there's that dove purifying and opening the door to get that last bit out and cleared, that door to spirit. I just put that card down on the other underlying energies I showed you in the beginning. It was coming up like this, right? Clearing out that last bit of fire, that root energy, that wood that needs to be burned. And then we have these 2 cards coming up, the 46 of the inner children and the thinking man, right? Going into his inner child and figuring out his mission. And then perhaps joining with a community with the 7 of the chariot, in order to, and again, we see the columns here, like the pillars, guiding the chariot. Calling you to carry me home. And I'm getting like girls calling their father to pick them up from the prom or something. But he's also clearing that energy out of his space. And that could be like, you know, kids leaving the house, going off to college, or perhaps if they were bad, they got kicked out and no longer feeling the need to do that. And also getting the energy of the community, right? Raising the child. It takes a community to raise the child, so people helping him out so he can have time to himself, which is the door to romance. And there's that 33 bridge. Perfect. Okay. Having that key, and the underlying energy is the patience of Lady Liberty, and there's the tower again of the 1661, and again Newton's cradle, and the clock says 10:11. It's not 10:10, it's not equal, it's 10:11, and that always leads me to 12. So at the 10, 11, 12, and again Lady Liberty there, and of course the tower coming up with that, and oh, that's why, because it's 9/11 coming up. So there's a lot of sorrow coming up around the trauma of 9/11 that's going to get cleared out this week with patience. Patience for your liberties. And again, those people who haven't been able to implement their plans because of what we've been going through the past few years, right? Feeling like their liberties were taken away from them, or having graduated and then they can't implement what they want to do because of whatever. There's that energy of needing to release this one final piece in order to feel free completely, right? And then be the free country, so to speak. Okay, you guys, remember your water, remember your sleep, your rest, your joy in your nature. Don't forget to put your feet out in the grass without your shoes, or hug a tree, touch the flowers, talk to the flowers. All of that stuff is very grounding, as well as salting things, salt baths and all that kind of stuff, water, so healing. Rise and be love, you guys. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.